This leg workout only took me 45 minutes. Low volume, high intensity. Let's go. First up, 2 sets of leg extensions. Next, 2 sets of barbell Romanian deadlifts. Push your hips back and lower the bar straight down, centered over the middle of your foot. Get a nice deep hamstring stretch.
Oh my god, I can't believe he actually did that. Okay, that was a bit of an exaggeration, but I just want to say, before I break this down, I'm happy to see Jeff trying out these low-volume, high-intensity workout. So let's talk about the RDL. The RDL, contrary to popular belief, does not grow your hamstrings very well, or at the very least not as well as most people think. So let's start off with the basics. So here's a quick anatomy lesson on your hamstrings. Your hamstrings sit at the back of your thigh and consist of these 4 muscles. All of them cross the knee joint and do knee flexion, while only 3 of them cross the hip joint and do hip extension. At the bottom end of an RDL, your hamstrings are lengthening at the hip joint from hip flexion, but simultaneously your hamstrings are also shortening at the knee joint from knee flexion. So during the exercise, the overall length of the hamstrings may not significantly change to experience much mechanical tension to drive hypertrophy. And from the data, we can also see a reduction in hamstring activation if hip extension is done together with knee extension, as in an RDL. A direct comparison between the RDL and the 45-degree back extension also shows similar findings. The hamstrings are not as effective in the RDL, likely because the knee are flexed rather than kept extended. Considering the fact that the hamstrings grow better training at longer lengths, for pure hamstring growth, a better alternative is probably the 45-degree back extension, even though technically it should be called 45-degree hip extension because this is what you're doing. Another really good substitute would be the stiff leg deadlift SLDL, where you keep your knees fully extended the whole time. And yes, doing this way, you will have to drop the weights, but the amount of stretch that you get is beyond another level. Now, I do want to point out that the way Jeff does his RDL is what I would consider to be a hybrid of RDL and SLDL. You can see that he's having far more hip flexion compared to knee flexion. So one can deduce that he's probably still going to get quite a bit of stimulus to his hamstring. And to his credit, he also mentioned that he's trying to get a really deep stretch on the hamstrings, which is very nice. However, if you watch through his entire video, which you should, he does not have any leg curl movements in his workout. So he's doing the Romanian deadlift purely for his hamstring. So all things considered, given the fact that he's going to do a hip hinge only for his hamstrings, from the scientific data, I'm quite confident that he could benefit more from doing something like an SLDL. So let me know what you think.